Hi guys, how we doing? Welcome back to the Free Hammers podcast. Getting back to our regular schedule now, one a week. Back to business. Here as always with Luke. How we doing, mate? You right?
Yeah, good mate. Again, some great news. We sort of went into Moyes leaving last week and discussed sort of our end of the season and stuff. And listen, they didn't mess around, mate, did they? The board and sort of universally around the West Ham fan circles, the West Ham fan channels, got to give the board credit on this one.
Yeah,
You've got to give them some credit.
Fantastic appointment. And what's interesting to me is it seems like this might have been in the works for quite a while. There was a load of things before about wait 6 months, see what happens, 6 months, and then apparently we were in for Pellegrini before we went for Moyes or something. And then obviously in his interview after he signed, he actually said that he's watched all of the games last season.
Yeah.
He watched all the games last season and he's seen all of our players. So it does make you wonder, has this been in the background for quite a while? Do you know what I mean?
For those of you who have not seen any West Ham news and been hiding somewhere, obviously Manuel Pellegrini has been announced as a manager. Obviously, like we said, we have Fonseca. Definitely went for an interview at least at some point. It comes with good pedigree. Obviously, won the Premier League with Manchester City. I only said Man United then. Won a few trophies at Real Madrid. Great seasons at Malaga and stuff. So, we can work on a shoestring budget. That seems to be the catchphrase that's going around at the moment. I did read an article about Harry Redknapp saying that anyone could have won the league, won trophies with that Real Madrid team. Anyone at Man City with that team, would have been a failure to not win the league. What do you make on those comments?
I mean, first of all, it's not as if he's only done it at one club. Let's say that, right? He's been a success wherever he's been. The West Ham have been pumping out statistics on their Twitter and Instagram and all the rest of it. But his entire career managing in Europe, he's never finished below 7th. He won the Premier League with a very, very, very good City team. But not just that, they had the 5th highest points total. Fifth highest win percentage, Fifth highest win percentage in Premier League history. That year they won the title, they scored the record amount of goals. Even Pep didn't break that this year. They scored the record amount of goals in all competitions. So it's not as if he didn't do anything. And I will say, Harry Redknapp, on that same thing, he done an interview with TalkSport, and he was moaning, saying, why didn't we go for an English manager, a Daesh Howe, one of the Championship managers, sort of slagging us off. But then the week before, he did an interview saying that Pellegrini or Benitez would be fantastic appointments for West Ham. I don't really listen to too much about what Harry Redknapp says, to be honest.
Yeah, no. I just wanted obviously our opinions on. Obviously, there's a couple divided opinions on it.
Yeah, of course.
As the stat that keeps going out, mate, it's the first ever manager we've had that's actually got a Premier League medal as well. Do you think, just before we go on what we think, do you think maybe Rafa had turned us down?
Probably. I think it was expected, though. I don't see why he would leave Newcastle to come to West Ham. I reckon Benitez probably was Sullivan's number one choice still. But yeah, I don't think he wanted it. Like I say, it wouldn't make sense to me why he would leave Newcastle to come to West Ham. And we've got Pellegrini. I think to be honest, I'm actually probably happier with Pellegrini purely because he played. And again, all the sound bites that's coming out, everything he says, he's all about attacking football. He's all about playing attacking even against the big clubs, whereas Rafa's a much more conservative manager. I mean, I'm delighted. I think it's a huge appointment for West Ham. Massive appointment for West Ham.
Yeah, no, I think it's fantastic, mate. I know I was banging on for a little while about Rafa Benitez for a few weeks, but actually, when I've took a step back, sort of assessed it, I'm overjoyed and probably actually more happy with Pellegrini, actually. You know, when you actually sit and assess, like perhaps this guy's contacts, what he's done already. Yeah, you could say Rafa won the Champions League, but you know, Pellegrini has done the big one. You know, he's won the league and stuff. I don't know. But it all boils down to just one thing, though, mate. If the guy hasn't given money, it counts for nothing. It counts for nothing if they just hang him out to dry at the end of the season or in January when we're not doing well.
Yeah, 100%, mate, 100%. And like you say, that's what it all comes down to. It doesn't matter what manager we get him. He needs to be backed. He needs to be given the funds. I didn't read the article, but I did have a notification come up for an article on my phone earlier. I didn't have a chance to read it. That said, just the headline was that he's been promised 75 million budget. If that's 75 million plus any money we get from outgoings, that's a big budget for him to work with. He's obviously already said he wants to bring in 4 or 5 players. But yeah, like you say, mate, they need to back him. And it's interesting. One of the other things I've seen sort of floating around, which kind of makes sense, is this is very, very much against Sullivan's usual MO. Like he's on what, £10 million a year? Well, rumoured 7 to 10.
About something like about 195 grand a week, something like that.
Yeah, he's on serious money basically. It's like a £30 million contract that he signed over 3 years, and that's just everyone's saying that's not Sullivan. What's going on? And then if we are going to give him 75 million to spend, again, people are saying it doesn't seem right. What's going on? Obviously, the big thing you look at then is this guy Trip Smith, the investor, the American investor who invested into West Ham. Recently left his position in his company that he was working for. Is this to do with him? Is he behind the scenes now pushing money into the club, getting ready for a potential takeover?
Yeah, or setting up one with someone else, like another American investor. It could be.
Because it's very interesting. I mean, this is very much against what they usually do, especially what they did the last couple of seasons.
Well, they know they can't spin anymore. Well, they can. You know, they can sit there and not spend any money and keep playing us, but I think they know West Ham fans won't take it, and I think they were a bit scared by what happened in that Burnley game.
Maybe.
Potential March build-up.
I mean, time will tell. Time will tell. I hope that the sort of whispers are right, that this is outside money being pushed into the club, because that's ultimately what we need and what we were after this season and all the protests and all the rest of it. But yeah, it's very interesting to see. And like I say, if he does get that kind of money, then the next thing's going to be, well, who are we going to go and get? Who are we going to bring in? The rumoured outgoings are Carroll, Byram, Fernandez and Hugill. So if they go, it'd be very interesting. And also there's just so much that, like, I'm really excited to see what happens next season, because does this mean that Hernandez is going to come back into play? Does that mean he's going to be getting more games? Keeping
Lanzini and people like that.
Exactly that. You know, finally, are West Ham actually showing some ambition? It's exciting.
I hope Chicharito does stay. I really hope Chicharito does stay. I really hope that Pellegrini gets into him, you know, like, yeah, we're going to use you, we're going to use you and Arnie, and we're going to get a good midfielder to sit in there with you, or some good wingers, or whatever his idea. I don't know what his idea is. Rumours are that he doesn't want Toure and he's going to look for more young and pacey players. So
it seems like he likes to play 2 up front. So that would suggest that he would play. Well, I don't know. There are very good videos doing the rounds as well. I don't know if you saw it, and it was him explaining how, when he was City manager, how he beat Manchester United, and he sort of had the ball out and the little counters and everything, and he was explaining his formation and the players and the tactics, and it was a really, really interesting insight into his kind of mindset and how he thinks about the game. It's worth checking out. If you haven't seen it, look it up on YouTube. I'll
see if you can find a link.
I'll put the link in and put it in the description as well. It's really worth checking out. But he basically says it doesn't really matter what formation you play. It's about the players and how they adapt into it. He said you could play 2 up front, But then you push a winger inside, then there's three up front. You know, if you're playing three up front, you could drop a winger back, and then you're playing two up front. It seems like it's all about sort of fluid formations. It's more about the players than the actual system. It's really interesting. But yeah, I don't know. Like that's the next thing, as we say, who's going to come in.
Yeah, I say, in terms of, like I say, they've not messed around in terms of the manager. You know, David Moyes announced, gone within 3-4 days. He's in. I hope now a big signing follows as well. But you've got to keep this momentum going now. You know, this is how, you know, like the end of the season at Upton Park, that summer, there was this momentum, you know. Oh, Payet signed a new contract. Oh, we think Lacazette's going to sign. Oh, Gokantor signed. At the time, we didn't know he was going to be as bad as he was, you know. But this is what I mean. You need to live off this momentum now. You go and get someone big in the next few weeks. Maybe someone else big will follow. It's going and keeping that momentum going.
I agree, mate. We even saw it last season, like last summer, where we signed Hernandez. And everyone got really excited. Oh, brilliant. What a start. We signed Hernandez. And then we didn't sign anyone else. But no, you're right. Yeah, you're right. You're right. We need to keep that momentum going. And I can't wait to see who comes in. I can't wait.
Yeah, I was looking as well. A player that I always mention, and I know Lee likes him, Solomon Rondon. He actually did work with him. He did work with him. I think it was either Malaga or Villarreal, one of those. He did work with him. So I think you will expect him to go looking now.
Possibly.
I think he possibly will go looking now at him, someone he likes. Apparently, he suggested him to West Brom at the time as well. Yeah, you got obviously Shaqiri's. There's another one, Man City young boy called Phil. Is it Phil Foden or something like that? I read another one meant to be young, pacey, quite a good little player. Yeah, it's. I wouldn't like to say who's going to come. I don't know. I really don't know.
Probably be players we've never heard of.
Worked with Isco as well. Maybe we could get him on there.
Yeah.
Probably one of the best players in the world. But,
yeah. No, the two that I've seen that he's apparently heavily interested in are, I'm probably going to completely ruin the pronunciation of this name, but Aranguiz, midfielder, and Claudio Bravo.
Oh, yeah. I also read Willie Caballero as well.
Right, that's interesting.
Yeah.
I don't know if he would come. Maybe Claudio Bravo is an interesting one for me because he wasn't good at City. You know, he obviously got replaced pretty quickly by Edison, but before he went to City, he was phenomenal.
Yeah, I think it is with goalkeepers, mate. It's just if it doesn't work out at big clubs, you're so high profile. You're on telly every week.
But the thing is, he was playing for Barcelona.
Look at Massimo Taibi, Man United. You know, he was apparently a world class in Italy. Comes to England, he was awful.
But I mean, like Bravo was phenomenal for Barcelona. Like he kept something stupid. Like he kept a record number of clean sheets in the league. Like something ridiculous amount of games where he kept a clean sheet. Got into the team of the year. Brilliant goalkeeper, and you can't say Barcelona's a defensive team that made it easy for him. Do you know what I mean? Like, and then he just went to City, and I think he had a really bad debut, and that probably knocked his confidence in. He never really recovered from it. It's an interesting one. There's two sides to it. First of all, he obviously not that long ago at a time he was an incredibly good goalkeeper. So I'd love to see him come in. But then at the same time, I did see someone else mentioned whenever West Ham take players and try and rebuild their confidence, it doesn't really seem to work, just like Joe Hart. But I don't know, that would be an interesting one. Adrian, I saw an article saying Adrian basically saying he wants to stay and be number one next year. Try and get back into the sort of Spain... I don't want to say the Spain squad, but because he's never been in it. But but to be mentioned,
considered,
sort of considered. Yeah. That's it. Yeah,
considered. Yeah, it's very interesting. Very, very interesting. I know that's some of the questions. So I don't want to touch too much on players because that's one of the questions that's going to be asked later. Obviously, Ginge confirmed on Instagram that it is true that on apparently the 30th of June his contract is up. Don't think we will be seeing him again, which is a shame. I know we touched on it last week about the email and that, and it is disgusting the way he's been treated, if that is the case.
Yes, it is. Although I'm kind of two ways about it, because at the time we didn't have a manager, so it's not as if the manager can call him into the office, sit him down, and
I agree with that as well. Yeah.
Plus, also now that I've seen the club are basically leaving it up to Pellegrini to decide whether he wants to renew his contract or not. I don't know. I feel like that whole email thing was a bit blown out of proportion, to be perfectly honest with you. Like I say, we didn't have a manager, so it's not as if the manager can call him in, sit him down, and say, "Thanks, mate, but we're not keeping you on." So, you know, and it's obviously, if we haven't got a manager, you don't want the club to start renewing contracts when there's no manager, and so I don't know. I think it was all blown a bit out of proportion, to be honest with you. But hopefully, I'd love to see Ginge get an extension. I'd love to see him come in a even as a sort of player coach kind of role. You know, I'd love to see him stay at the club in some capacity. Obviously. Yeah.
Any other sort of news, mate, this week? Obviously, that's the big news, the Pellegrini one.
That's been the main news, really. I mean, they apart from sort of whispers about potential ins and outs, that's pretty much dominated the headlines.
We did get a tease of the kit.
Yes, we did.
We did get a little tease of the kit. Obviously, Pellegrini was holding it the back ways to us. If any of you guys have seen the Everton shirt, obviously we're sponsored by Umbro, usually brands when they release shirts now, it's all very generic. It looks like potentially, if you look at the Everton shirt, that it's got buttons here, you know, it's got sort of Umbro around the sleeves, which the West Ham shirt did have, didn't it?
It's the same. It's the same template. It's the same. It will look exactly the same. I'm not a fan, purely because
rumours are that it's, you know, Umbro's only got, I think it's one more year to 2020, I think it was. And then apparently Nike is going to be our sponsor. Apparently,
I don't like the claret sleeves. To me, a West Ham kit should be claret blue sleeves. I'm not a fan. It's not one it's highly unlikely I'll pick the shirt up. Not really a fan. I don't really like the irons on the back. I mean, actually putting irons on the back there actually is not a bad idea. But the font, this is just typical West Ham. The font that it's done in just looks cheap. I don't know. I don't really like it. Apparently, the away kit is going to be sort of a royal blue and gold trim, which would be different. And then the third kit apparently is grey. And apparently the third kit's gorgeous. It's gorgeous. I really like West Ham's third kits usually. Something a bit different. I like the things a bit different. And I did text you what the reveal date for the home shirt was, and I can't remember it. It was June the 10th, I think it was.
Yeah, because the fixtures come out in literally about 2 weeks' time, I believe. I think it's about the 13th of June they come out. So, yeah, it's not long at all till it all starts getting exciting again. Some good news, obviously, Lanzini did get in the final cut of the Argentina team, which is great news. You know, good luck to him. You know, if he stays, fantastic. If he doesn't, hopefully his price goes shooting through the roof. Was there any other West Ham fans that have made the World Cup? There's not many.
West Ham fans?
Sorry, players.
Well, you got Kouyaté, I'm guessing he's going with Senegal. João Mario, if he ends up staying.
Yes. So
is in Portugal.
I hope Pellegrini looks at him as well. I hope he does have another look at him.
Hernandez is obviously going with Mexico.
Oh, yeah, Chips,
Arnautovic.
No, Australia didn't qualify.
Oh, Australia didn't qualify. All right. Well, there you go. Forget that. I'm trying to think. Was there anybody else?
Does Zabaleta get picked anymore?
No, I don't think so.
No.
I think he might be retired internationally. I might be.
Yeah, there's
might be wrong, but there's a couple there. There's a couple to keep an eye on.
Yeah.
Did Switzerland qualify? Switzerland, did they qualify? Because Fernandez may be in the squad if they qualified. I actually don't know. It's terrible, isn't it?
Before we go on to the questions, just some other news. Just got to mention it just purely because it was just a great moment. Gigi Buffon's testimonial on our player that we would love to have come to West Ham. Well, that was
Pirlo's
just
testimonial.
who. Sorry?
Whose testimonial?
It was Gigi's,
Pirlo.
Oh, it's
Pirlo's, yeah.
Oh, sorry, mate. I thought it was Gigi Buffon. God, this is a great show.
Buffon was there. Buffon played, I think.
That was literally a who's who, though.
I'm gutted because I didn't realise it was on, so I didn't see it. It was only my mate texted me when there was about 10 minutes left. I thought, I'm not going to put it on now. I'll save it and I'll try and find it and watch it later. But yeah, the lineups just incredible, absolutely incredible. Some of the names, like
apparently someone like Cafu was still able to do it. Seedorf still looking like he's 25.
Oh man, I know you had like the likes of them. You had like Ronaldo was still there, Del Piero, Roberto Baggio.
Yeah,
Baggio, just incredible. Ronaldinho, Rui Costa, just the names after names, and then Frank Lampard. But it was funny because there were four West Ham there. So you had Lampard, Tevez, Diamante, and Marco Borriello was actually in the team as well.
Some West Ham legends, yeah. So that's sort of it, really, this week, guys. We are going to do the questions. Paul's not got that long this week, if you was wondering why it's such a short show. But we will, be pushing on with the shows more often, hopefully. Sarif says, "Is Fat Sam a fraud?"
No,
I don't think so.
He's not. What a ridiculous statement. No, of course he's not a fraud. I don't ever want to see him at West Ham ever again. But the man does a job, and he does it incredibly well. He does it probably better than anybody else. He keeps teams in the league. That's what he's employed to do, and that's what he does.
Yeah, no, I agree. He got us up on first go. Yeah, it was through the playoffs. He consolidated us. Do you know what I mean? He made us sort of a comfortable team there. Saved Everton, saved a few others. Bit unlucky with the England thing, but yeah, don't ever want to see him back at West Ham. But he's certainly not a fraud. He's good at what he does. Yeah. Greg says, if you could sign one midfielder to improve our central midfield, who would it be realistically?
For me, it has to be a defensive midfielder. So for me, you're looking Carvalho or Dendoncker.
Yeah, Dendonker's apparently relinked again as well. So hopefully that does happen. Stephen says, what happened to Saku's big interview he was supposed to do? Wasn't he going to tell us all what really happened and how he wasn't a spoiled little see you next Tuesday? Or did I imagine that? I mean, Pellegrini is our manager now. Anything is possible.
Well, no, yeah, I have to admit, mate, I forgot all about that. Yeah, I remember he said that, didn't he? I would imagine West Ham's legal team got in touch and had a friendly word.
Yeah.
And that was the end of that. Yeah, I forgot all about that. I've got no clue how Sacco's doing. I'm pretty sure he's in the World Cup squad as well. But I haven't got a clue how he's been getting on his new club.
No, I haven't at all. SB says, do you think Noble wears the armband next season? Yep, and I think you might possibly be seeing the last bit of Mark, I think, and I've been saying that for a couple of years, but I don't think he's got much more beyond this season. Yeah, he did a good job, couple of good tackles, great goal against Leicester as well, but he ain't got much long left. If we really, as fans, guys, yeah, I know we can all sit here and say about passion, yeah, brilliant passion, James Collins, fantastic passion, but take the claret glasses off. I know this is me, this is Luke talking all the time, but is this guy the guy that's going to take you to this next level that we all supposedly want to get to? Is he really?
No, of course not. And who knows?
And if you're so stressed about keeping that West Ham, our West Ham and all that, I agree with that. You've got to have some proper in there. But let's hope that's Declan Rice now. Let's let Declan Rice take that mental now. Let him be that proper West Ham. We need a couple more like that though. Like we need like a Lucas Neal character in there or someone like that. Like some real big characters in there. But I don't know how many of them actually exist in football anymore. Characters like that. Yeah. Who would you ever skip?
So that's interesting, isn't it? So say you said Noble's out, you rule Noble out as skipper. Winston Reid's obviously vice captain, but he doesn't play enough really these days. I'd probably give it to Adrian if he's going to stay on. I don't know.
Do you think Arnie could handle it?
I say that. I mean, I was going to say I don't think he's got the mentality for it, but I was going to say Paolo obviously wore the armband, but they're different. I don't know. I don't think Arnie's captain material. I think he sulks too much. I can't see him like, yes, by his performances lifting the team, but I can't see him getting hold of someone and saying, right, come on, do you know what I mean? I don't think he's that kind of character. Zabaleta is a good shout if he stays, but then you'd like to think we're gonna.
It's the age.
Yeah, you'd like to think we're gonna replace him.
I would give it honestly not next year, year after potentially. Just like, remember, Bobby Moore was like 21. I'm not comparing Bobby to Rice at all. I'd just give it Declan Rice.
Arrow was Rio Coco when he got it.
20, I think. Rio Coco was 20 when he had it. Yeah.
Joe Cole as well.
Yeah, why not let him have it? Why not let him? Yeah. Jamie, which positions need filling this summer? Any names that you've seen that you'd be happy with? Quite a lot. Sub goalie or first team goalie. Centre half, if Collins is not to come back. Right winger, left winger.
Definitely a right back.
Central defensive mid.
Yeah.
Possibly even a striker as well.
Yeah, there's gaps all over the team. There really are. There's gaps all over the team. And if you looked at Pellegrini's 4 or 5 to come in, I'd say that's probably about where you are, aren't you? You're probably at goalkeeper, right back, maybe centre half, centre mid, striker. And that's 5 players there, really.
Yeah, maybe a winger, yeah, as well. Yeah. Should Hugh Gill get a chance next season? Personally, I think we should never have signed him because he doesn't seem great and his record at Preston was poor, but I do feel bad for him that he has only managed 20 minutes.
No, I wouldn't give him a chance. I think move him on. Try and get back as much as we can.
Yeah, 9 million as well. It's ridiculous.
I'm sure a championship club will take him. He hasn't played, like you say, his record at Preston weren't great. So, no, I don't see any real reason to keep him on. I'd say I feel bad for him, but I don't really, because he's probably earning an absolute fortune sitting on the bench for a year. So I'm sure his bank balance is all right.
Yeah.
But no, I know, obviously he came to West Ham and he would have wanted to play, and he hasn't, which is a shame. But no, I think I think move him on, and it'll be one of those that's forgotten in time.
Yeah, no, weird one. Really weird signing in general, though, wasn't it? Mark, I've just read Ginge has announced he's going. No idea if true, but the fact remains he is one of the last true club players apart from Nobbs and deserves special recognition from the club. What is your opinion? Like I said last week, I think the guy deserves at least a testimonial, just to have a proper goodbye to the fans. And, again, it builds a nice momentum to going into the season as well. If that was, let's say, that little Betway Cup thing they do, where we play a big club from Europe, make that his testimonial. Why not have that as his testimonial? Do that, But whether that happens or not, I don't know. Apparently, it's something to do with tax, I read as well, that the tax office liked it to be that you've worked a solid 10 years, so a straight 10 years, not a split 10 years, before you can be given a gift over a certain amount of money.
All right.
I did read something into that. I can't remember what website it was on. Okay, so again, Pellegrini is the manager of West Ham. WTF is going on. Also, do you think the board will give him a proper war chest for this summer, or just be tight again? That is the big question.
That is the big question. I don't. I think they have to. I think they have to. I mean, they would have given him assurances for him to sign, surely. As I say, I see headlines today saying 75 million. They have to back him. If they don't, I don't think he's the type of manager who's just going to take it. I think he'll probably walk. So I think they have to back him. Yeah,
Otherwise, what
I
was
agree,
the point? What was the point
Yeah, otherwise,
of
like you
paying
say,
the guy
what's
that
the point?
amount of money?
Yeah, so as you say, mate, WTF is going on.
Yeah.
I like as I say, maybe there is outside investment. To me, that makes sense because I don't. This doesn't seem like a Sullivan move to me.
Smokey Jones, I think this is a touch on sort of what you mentioned last week, mate. A lot of people are slagging off Cresswell. What are your opinions? Sell or keep? In my opinion, he's played 36 of 38 matches, most out of position, had 7 assists, most by a defender, 10 clean sheets, more than any of the lads going to Russia. Keep him, and he should have gone World Cup, in my opinion.
Listen, I got a lot of stick for saying sell him last week, and I did answer one of the comments as well. For me, and he hasn't been the same since he got that really bad injury last year. I feel like he shirks out of tackles. Yes, he has been good this year playing at centre back. Not disputing that, he's done well. But I would rather see an actual centre back play there than a left back playing a centre back. He's not big enough to be a centre half. He's too small. For me, he's got a good set piece. He's got a good cross. He's got a good delivery. That's about it for me. He doesn't tackle. He gets skinned consistently when he is playing left back. He's too small to play as centre back. Yes, he has done well out of position this year, but I personally would move him on while we can still get a good fee for him, and then put that money towards actual proper centre half. That's what I would do. That's my opinion. Obviously, everyone's entitled to their own. My opinion don't seem to be that popular. But there you go. You know, that was my reasons. What do you think, mate?
Yeah, no. I like the guy. Like I say, I agree. He's adapted very, very well into that left centre back role. But yeah, if there was a chance to get a really good, solid left centre back, or play Bonner at left centre back, Rice at centre back, and then go and get a really good right centre back, or Rice at right centre back and go and get a really good centre back, then I know where my loyalties would lie. Then I would go and get a really good centre half if the opportunity did arise. And you could probably get quite good money for Cresswell. You could probably get your 25, 30 mil for him, I reckon.
I don't think he's worth that much.
He's only 26.
I'd say the market's crazy at the minute. I would say about 15. I reckon we would get for him. I can't see 25, 30. I reckon we'd get 15, maybe 20 at a push.
Maybe, yeah, 20 would be a good value though for him. But yeah, I'm if he stays, I'm not going to be gutted. If he goes, I'm not going to be gutted. There's a lot of players in the current West Ham team that we discussed this last week. If they stay, who cares? If they go, who cares?
Yeah.
Chiatti as well. He's another one. Pellegrini might get him around the scruff of the neck. You might get a great season out of him next year. But if he went, I don't care. I really don't. He's another one. People like Antonio as well, to a certain extent. I know again, we got a little bit of stick for that. But for me, I know you agree, mate. Since that England call-up, he hasn't been the same player.
No, mate. Since Payet left, he's done nothing. Really, since Payet left, he's done nothing. I mean, again, we probably mentioned this last week. For me, the only players for me that are absolute must keep are Arnautovic, Lanzini, Rice, and Ogbonna. For me, those four, they're the four that I think we should keep, and I'd be gutted if they left. don't. I'd still.
I would like to keep Masuaku as well. I would like to add Masuaku to because I really do like
I
the guy.
don't like. That's the thing. For me, those four are the four essentials. I like Masuaku. I like Adrian. You know, I like Hernandez. But again, if they went, I think they're replaceable. But I do. I'm not saying I want to sell everybody else. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying for me, those are the four essential. I know a lot of people will probably disagree with me on Ogbonna, but I really rate him as a defender.
Something like someone like Obiang as well. You know, he's another one. Could he, under Pellegrini, be a really good player next year? I don't know. I would definitely be looking to ship Carroll out as well. I'm not. You know, he's got 1 year left on his contract. If we can get any money at all, bite the hand off, take it.
Yeah.
But I don't think he'll go. I really don't, because I don't think anyone will pay him $100,000 a week. Even Newcastle, I don't think would pay him that. Yeah. Mitchell, what 4 or 5 players would you realistically like to sign? That's why I left that question out when we was discussing, because he said it. So who would you?
4 or 5 players realistically. So, I don't know. It depends where you put the bar for realistic.
I'd say Bravo, mate, for like what you mentioned. If you're saying goalkeeper, I'd be
Bravo. Bravo is definitely realistic.
I think Rondon is.
Yeah, Rondon is. I would still love to see us sign Jack Wilshere.
Yeah,
I think it's an absolute joke that he's not going to the World Cup. That's absolute craziness. I would love to see him come in still. I would like.
I think Shaqiri we should go and get. I say that every week, but I think we should go and get him. We should. Yeah. We should be going to get him.
Yeah. I would go for. Dawson, for cheap money.
Evans I'll look at as well. Again, I don't think he'll come West Ham, but apparently that $3 million release clause, I think you should at least put some money in. Like, at least put the money there, and if he don't accept it, we can say, well, at least we tried. You know, we tried with that one. He's a good centre half. Who else? There's a few others. Torre, again, they're saying about age.
I would definitely take him. I would definitely take him. I think he's still got a lot to offer, especially on the right terms, on the right deal. I would take him. I'm trying to think of realistic striker targets. I tell you who didn't go to the World Cup and who might fancy a crack in the Premier League, who we've got absolutely no chance of signing, is Icardi.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure we've been linked with him before. But again, he's not going to the World Cup. Absolutely no idea. Phenomenal season. Hey, you never know. If we threw enough money at them, they might be tempted. Whether he'd be tempted to come to West Ham is a different question.
Yeah, I love Jamie Vardy as well. But again, he would never come to West Ham now. But I do love. He's a great player, Jamie Vardy. Daniel Bowden. Hello, mate. What do you think a realistic position target for next season should be? Listen, I'm not going to sit here and aim like I did last year. I'm not going to sit here and go, 6th, 7th, 10th. There we go. I'm happy.
Top half. Yeah, for me, top half. Anywhere in the top half, I'd be happy. First season, and then obviously you want to see us improve on that. For me, if we can finish top half and we can do it playing good, attractive, attacking football, fantastic.
And it's like, I'm going to use a cliche, good cup run. Do you know what I mean? Like, you know, it's someone like Pellegrini's won the League Cup twice as well. You know, I'm not saying we're going to win it, but, you know, have a go at it. I'd like to think he's the sort of manager that will have a go. He's again, the sound bites again is, I don't set up to lose a game. I set up to win. Yeah. Next one, Sarif. Cheese on toast, with or without Worcester sauce? Mate. I like it with brown sauce. Actually.
With Worcester sauce, yeah, 100%, mate. That's banging. That is. I see a bit of hot sauce as well. Not as well, but See, cheese on toast with hot sauce instead of Worcester sauce. Beautiful.
Yeah. Try that. That's our next show, actually.
Yeah, I'm going to do
cook cheese on toast and
three hammers cook.
Yeah, 3 hammers do cooking. SB, if rumours are true and we do not renew with Umbro, who would you like to do the kits next year? Well, I've already said, look, Nike. I want to see Nike.
Yeah, I'd be happy enough with Nike. Adidas kits are always nice. I mean, they're the big two really. Puma do some decent kits, very tight fitting.
Under Armour's quite nice as well. Anthony Joshua make.
Yeah, Nike or Adidas would be good. Why not? Let's go back to Macron and then monstrosities.
Yeah.
I feel it.
Well, Luke, the make I really like wearing.
Yeah,
Luke making Aston Villa's kits next year. Yes. Have a look, mate. They're making Aston Villa's kits next year, and any Aston Villa fan that comes in wearing the shirt gets 50% discount in store.
Luke's buying it
because Luke, is.
You'll be buying a Villa shirt next year then.
Yeah, I might buy an Aston Villa shirt just to walk in there. That is it for the questions, guys. Thank you very much for tuning in again. Any other sports news? I'm just trying to think. Not really. There's some good boxing coming up. There's Murray versus Billy Joe Saunders, a great fight coming up. Obviously, the final of the super middleweight fight, will George Groves fight or will it be Chris Eubank? It's an absolute joke, in my opinion, if Chris Eubank gets that fight. What's your opinions on that, mate? Very quickly.
I understand why, because they're saying, obviously, the time. I understand both sides of it. Obviously, Groves won, so he should be there. Eubank lost, he doesn't deserve that shot. But I understand from the organiser's point of view, if they don't do it within a certain amount of time, that competition loses credibility. So I understand where they're coming from, but for me, that's that type, because of that exact reason, because injuries can happen, that format of competition doesn't work in boxing.
Especially for boxing,
it doesn't work in boxing.
No, it would be a shame. Obviously, Tyson Fury also makes his return to the ring in the next few weeks as well. I know it's against some nobody, but great to see him back. I do like the guy as a character. I'll tell you what, mate. We probably will do a World Cup preview show soon, but let's just have an early prediction for you, mate.
My predictions are the same every tournament. Germany.
I actually really like the bet of Spain at 6-1.
It's good odds.
I really like that.
6-1. Who in their team though stands out really? Spain. Who have they got?
For me, it was that result against Argentina though that was like, oh my goodness, this team has still got it.
They were good.
That 7-1. You can't look beyond Germans. You can't look beyond, even to a certain extent, Brazil. If Brazil turn up, then it's all over.
Brazil. For me, Brazil and Germany, seriously strong favourites. Portugal and Argentina are interesting because probably Messi and Ronaldo's last World Cup. But for me, it's just hard to look beyond Germany. They're just, and I hate saying that, but they're an absolute machine of a team.
They're a machine, mate. They're an absolute machine. They're semi-final guaranteed. You know what I mean? They're more or less every time they turn up semi-finals. But yeah, we'll go into a bit more depth in a few weeks' time. Hopefully, guys, the news just keeps on rolling. It makes the shows a lot easier for us. We've come back in 2 weeks. We've had some fantastic news. We will be back next week as well. I hope Paul will be back with us as well. If not, obviously we'll try and do some videos. Until then, guys, keep believing. Give us your opinions on Manuel Pellegrini. Give us your opinions on what 4 or 5 players you think he's going to sign and what players you would like. Until then, guys, come on your minds. Keep believing. Hit that subscribe button. Let's go.
Cheers.